do it. I think we're going live. Are we live? Preparing the meeting. Let's assume that we're live. Welcome, everyone, to our daily success call for Friday, the 4th of June. It is actually, get ready, it's National Donut Day. Did you know that? No?
What donuts yesterday?
No. I was just meeting with my mastermind group, and one of my members said, "You know what, John? I just need to stop everyone here. I know we're talking about a very big topic right now, but ladies and gentlemen, it's National Donut Day." And I said, "Oh my goodness, what donut are we going to have?" And so, how about you, Christina? Do you have a favorite donut?
Yeah, there's this really fancy donut shop in the area, and my son and I love the vegan apple fritters, and now they've been making them vegan blueberry apple fritters. So,
Oh, very
yeah,
nice.
I don't think there's anything special about it being vegan. The first time I bought it, I didn't even know it was vegan, and I was like, this was vegan. It's so good.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Now, arguably, the best donuts in the planet are in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, so I guess we could have that argument, but I'll tell you what, if you're ever in Phoenix, Arizona, stop in Bossa Donuts, B-O-S-A, Bossa, and oh my goodness, wow, they got some great donut recipes. Not that I'm advocating for you to eat deep fried sugar and carbohydrates. Okay, but just in case you just don't, right? Yeah. Coming from the guy who's been, pumping iron for 30 years, right? Go eat your donuts now. So anyway, good to see you, Christina and all. I see Danielle's here, Jennifer, Tani, good to see you. And if you're joining us on the recording on the YouTube interwebs thing, we're glad you're here as well. Apparently, the memo is getting out. More and more people are finding out about these daily success calls. The purpose of which is that we get to focus a bit of our attention on more of the who and the why, instead of just, constant focus on the what and the how. Obviously, all of it's needed. Okay. But as I've often said, you guys are going to hear me say this again and again until it really sinks in. More important than what you do is who's doing it. And I don't know if that's real for you, but it's very real for me. Very real. In fact, I wanted to talk with you a little bit today about a concept that came out of a book, not one of the ones that I recommended that you start with, but a book that I've been studying now for a couple of decades at least, called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Anybody ever heard of that? Science of Getting Rich?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. No. So it's a pretty, actually, you can go grab a free copy online. It was written in 1910, so it's long out of copyright. Copyrights last 70 years. I know that because I'm a published author, but this book has shaped the lives and fortunes of many people who have applied what was written in it. It's not a long book. It's, I guess, depending on how big the type is, 100 pages or 60 pages or whatever. But the one of the ideas that Wattles talked about in this book was that two different people engaged in the same activity, like in the same business, could have completely different results. One gets rich, the other remains poor. Why? Great question, right? Thanks for asking. Why? Okay, so let's say, for example, picture, this is 1910, right? So picture you're a barber, right? So you've got the barber shop on this side of the town, and there's the other barber on that side of the town. And basically you're competitors. But there's a line to get in this barbershop, and there's nobody going into that barbershop. And you've probably seen this as well in other areas of your life, where just in modern times, right, that you could see, well, I always go get, what was a recent example I heard? Somebody was talking about chicken, like fried chicken or something. And like that chicken place is the best in the universe, right? That one over there, and nobody really goes there. Why is that? Why is that? Anyway, Wattles explored this. And he said, well, those who get rich do things in a certain way. And he went further. He said, in order to do things in a certain way, you've got to think in a certain way. And I thought, that's interesting. Okay, so a certain way. And he capitalized it too. It was like some divine thing, the certain way, and capital letter. And he talked about the certain way like 30 something times throughout the book. And so I'd read the book a couple of times. And any study that I'm looking to do, I'm looking to apply, right? The whole point of study isn't that I'm impressed or entertained. I mean, that could happen too, but can I use this, right? Does this bear fruit in my life? Is it workable? And having read as much as I have over the last 30 something years that I've been kind of on this whole path of discovering who I am and what I should be doing with my life, I've kind of separated the wheat from the chaff. In fact, in that way, I will tell you, there's a lot of books that you might as well just throw in the garbage because, despite them being on a bestseller list for whatever it's worth, it doesn't bear fruit. So anyway, back to the idea. So I was considering this, and I was considering how could I use that in my life? I mean, it sounds cool, but hold on a second here. What is he talking about? So a certain way, is it a special way? Like these people are special? Or maybe it's like a secret way, right? A secret kind of a thing. I hear secrets are good, right? There's the secret of this, the secret of that. There's so many books written that have secret in the title, the secret of cracking the Facebook code or something. Everybody seems to have a secret. Maybe it's a secret way. And then I kept thinking, I was like, well, how could he even tell me? This is 1910. I'm on the internet, man. This is 1910. He's talking about, blacksmiths and plumbers and stuff. I'm on the web, right? So I got out the best self-help book ever written. It's called The Dictionary. And I started looking up words. And one of the words I looked up, because apparently I'm not getting what this guy means. One of the words I looked up is certain. And wouldn't you know it? One of the definitions for certain is the absence of doubt, certainty, the absence of doubt. And the light bulbs came on. That's the certain way. That's what he's talking about. That's why he capitalized it. That's why it's timeless. I don't care if you're the plumber, the internet guy, the blacksmith, whatever. The certain way. So I applied that into my life to the best of my ability, and I've been doing so ever since. And I've made a lot of money. It works. Okay, so here's my question for all of you, for your consideration, if it pleases the group. Okay, what can you do in your life to cause more certainty? In other words, less doubt. More of, like when I talk about goals and goal achievement, I like to talk about goals as a guaranteed future outcome. A guaranteed future outcome, not just some possibility. Oh, wouldn't it be nice then? Oh, that would be nice. Oh, I hope that happens to me. No. That whole statement, I hope that happens to me, is basically an advertisement of personal irresponsibility. That's what that is. I am not cause, I'm effect. I hope that happens to me. No, it's not going to happen to you, right? It's going to be something that we cause. Really, when we get down to it, the philosophy that drives all of this, all this success, online, offline, I don't give a damn about the method, right? Insert method here. That's fine. Okay. We're talking about the philosophy that underlies all of it is what Ralph Emerson called the law of laws, and that is cause and effect. Cause and effect. That's it. Okay. So how can I be more causative in my life? In other words, and this is what everybody wants, right? How can I have more control and more freedom in my life? Financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom, right? Dominion over my lifestyle and situation, ability to provide, benefits and opulence and what have you for myself and my family, right? All that stuff. The reason you showed up here in the first place, right? You want that control. You want that freedom. Well, guess what? There's no other way to have control but to accept additional responsibility. I didn't say take responsibility because it was always yours, but to accept it and to work with that, right? So control and responsibility go together. They're inseparable. All right. So remember, cause and effect. Effects don't create effects. Causes create effects. So we've got to assign cause back to ourselves. All right. And when we do that, I know we're getting into the rabbit hole here a little bit today, but it's the last call for the week. So I thought I'd give you something to chew on over the weekend. Okay. So when we do that, when we assign cause to ourselves, what immediately happens? We stop assigning cause outside of ourselves. We stop looking out there saying those circumstances are causing my pain or pleasure, right? Those circumstances, congenial or not, congenial means friendly towards your purposes. Okay. So those circumstances are not cause. Those are effects. Those are effects based on the decisions I made yesterday, which I'll get credit for, good or bad, right? But it's what? It's the past. It's the past. Effects don't create effects. So if you yourself are walking around like an effect, I don't care how many books on effectiveness you read or how lofty you get in your meditation or whatever you're doing. Okay. If you're the effect, you lose. You've got to be cause. Now, as cause, can you then have a bit more certainty, a bit more confidence, a bit more knowingness about where you're going in life? I mean, look, people who don't reach higher than mediocrity don't show up here in these conversations. You didn't just start a business and invest in yourself and all this because you're a loser or you've got low self-esteem or something. You're a highly esteemed people. Well, you certainly wouldn't be hanging around with me. People who want to remain a victim or something, they tend to run in the other direction when they confront me. So I'm here to help you be more causative in your life and to develop that certainty. Now, we can look at evidence, and I wrote about this in my first book, Integrity is Everything. You can find evidence to support your own self-belief, knowing that, yes, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, that my past does not equal my future. And I may have blundered, and who hasn't? Who hasn't blundered in life? Okay. I may have missed opportunities. I may have played small. I may have been up to this point, played to not lose instead of playing to win. But that was yesterday, last year, 5 minutes ago. It's not now. Now, meaning right now, as in right now, I decide who I am. And I'm going to go cause something to happen. So think of the words, cause and effect, right? Cause, effect, they're opposites, right? So I'm going to go be effective in my life. I'm going to go cause something to happen. And we do this on a gradient. Okay. So when we first got on here, the first person who was on here actually got here before me was Jennifer. Okay. Jennifer's already got hundreds of designs that she's put together and she's executing, man. Bam, let's do it. Right. I know was it Christina I was talking to as well, was already, getting momentum going and, getting ready to release the Kraken over here. Hats off to everyone who's doing that. Right. Of course, you got to learn some stuff. Right. So back to the whole idea of having more control in your life and by accepting more responsibility, underlying all of that is that stuff. Right. You can't do this as a dummy. Right. You gotta know stuff. Hence, let's go learn. Let's go get educated. Let me invest in a course. Let me get some coaching. Let me go see who else has walked this path before me, which is also evidence, by the way, right? I like to build a case, right? Think about this like you're in the court, and by the way, you're the judge and you're the prosecutor and you're the defense, and you're building a case now for why you should be successful. And so we're going out and we're looking at, well, here's Rachel, for example, right? How's those results? Oh, they're pretty spectacular. Oh, okay, great. So I guess that success does exist. And is it a secret? Is she special or something? I mean, here's the thing. When we come into an environment where the success we seek is a demonstrated reality. In other words, we can find evidence that this is real. I can do it too. There's a tendency for people, because of their past, because of who they were yesterday or whatever, there's a tendency for people to disqualify themselves and put others on a pedestal. Oh, John LeBetti, he's, man, I could never do what he does. Okay. Well, great news. You don't have to do what I do. Okay. We're not here to pass around a mirror so we can all be clones or something. Right. But there's some unique talent or expression of ability that you have that nobody else in the world has that exact combination. Right. Can you use that to serve your fellow beings, right, in the marketplace? You can. Can you do that in a way that nobody else can quite do that? You can. So no need for pedestals, okay? Just because someone made some decisions that you're making now, they just made them a few years ago, right? So they're a little bit further down the road. No need to compare your insides to other people's outsides. Just get on with it. Just decide who you are and then be that, right? And then take the cues and do the modeling and whatever you can do to accelerate that process. And once again, for anyone who didn't hear at the beginning, I was asking someone, Jennifer, I think, are you going through the accelerator process? That is super important, right? So that's a bonus. That's something you're getting that is going to help you kind of see the bigger picture here and how you can go exponentially faster than what you may have expected in the beginning. So get with your accountability rep and make sure they route you into the accelerator process. You should be going through one module a day on that. And they're short. And let me say this as well, since I'm on a tangent right now. They're not just lectures. It's not just you sitting there listening. I mean, that's part of it, okay? But there's also your participation, right? So as I've mentioned to anyone who's been in a live welcome session with me, there's inflow and outflow, right? We want to balance that. It's not just hammering you with constant inputs. Learn, 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 learn. No, we want to hear from you. So you'll notice in each module, there's questions that you can answer. You can give your feedback. You can speak your mind. Super important that you do that. Okay, we got to balance those flows. Think of it like breathing, right? Inhale, exhale. That's how it has to work, right? In fact, you can find evidence of that throughout life, right? The tide comes in, the tide goes out. There's a rhythm to all this. You want to get in the rhythm. And it feels good, by the way. It feels good to be in a rhythm. It feels good to be in the flow with this stuff. And the more in the flow with it you are, the more you start to experience the certainty, there's that word again, the certainty that, oh my goodness, I can do it too. In fact, that's not even that big of a deal. Why the hell have I been playing so small up to this point? Great question. And I suppose we could explore that some more. But right now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look forward. The most sane and most productive people that I've ever worked with in my time here are people who spend most of their time contemplating futures, not their past, right? And in terms of right now, present time, yes, definitely working with what we've got. Okay, but for what purpose, to what end? Well, for the future, the one that we are considering a guaranteed future outcome. Now, look, there's a difference between goals and targets. I'm going to talk with you more about this once we do your business launch strategy session. And by the way, the only way to qualify to get into a session like that is to go through the entire accelerator process, which not everybody does, by the way, right? So that's for the elite group, which I intend for everyone here to be in. So again, get with your accountability reps. But what we're going to talk about when we get there, one of the things we'll talk about is the difference between goals and targets. And I'm going to give it to you right now. So rather than leave you with a cliffhanger, tune in next week and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it right now. So I hate mysteries. I hate mysteries. So we reach every goal we set. Does that sound real for you? Do you reach every goal you set? And if not, if you're having an argument with yourself right now, we can explore that too. Why is that? Why have you not reached every goal that you set? Well, perhaps, one, you didn't know how, right? There's lots of different paths. Maybe you've been on the wrong path up to this point. That's fine. The past does not equal the future. We already discovered that. Okay. But is there something that perhaps you've been what we call half measures? Half measure. Have you been kind of half stepping it? Have you been, that would be nice, back to that whole, what I called irresponsibility, right? Well, I hope that happens for me or to me or whatever. No, that's not cause, that's effect. Okay. Have you been applying that to whatever degree in your, Christina missed what I said about following up with your accountability rep. Do so. That's what I said. Call your accountability rep. Call them every day. And make sure they get you routed through the accelerator process because you deserve to get through it.
Okay, I thought there was something else there you were talking about that we missed.
No,
it's just the accelerator program you're talking about.
Yeah. Your accountability rep holds the keys, so get with them. Okay. So, what was I talking about? Right. Oh, goals. Right. So I may have not yet completed that particular goal. Okay. But if we can break this down, and we're going to talk about this more. Okay. But just to give you a little hors d'oeuvre here off the tray. Okay. So when we look at goals include on purpose, specific and measurable accomplishments or experiences that are relevant to you and that are accomplishable in a period of time. That's one definition of a goal. You don't need to take notes on that. We'll talk a lot more about this stuff. And let's say that the piece that's missing in there for you up to this moment is the time piece. You haven't accomplished that goal yet. We got to add that word yet in there. And there could be lots of reasons why you haven't up to this point. And we're not going to park on them. we can look at what was, and we can make some new decisions based on that. That's a good thing to do. And one decision we could make is that we're going to reach every goal that we set for ourselves. This is coming back to the whole certain way idea. I reach every goal I set. That's a statement of certainty. That's a statement of causation. Okay. Now, what's the difference between a goal and a target? Within the goal, who is ringing my phone off the hook? Bing bong, bing bong. Let me put my stuff on do not disturb. Okay, great. And I'll turn my phone upside down as well. So what's the difference between a goal and a target? So targets are things that you could reach en route to the goal. Goals are things that you will accomplish as you fulfill a purpose. So above all of this is purpose, right? Nobody shows up without a purpose. In fact, if you want to see some of the most miserable people in life, they're purposeless. So think about, and I'm not going to mention anything in particular here, but I know a person who's retired, whose life is all about what's for breakfast, and as soon as they're eating breakfast, what's going to be for lunch and for dinner. Like their mealtime is their main focus in their life. How's that sound? Anybody want that life? I sometimes see the sales pitches for the internet business, and there's the coconut drinks on the beach. How many coconut drinks can you drink? That gets boring really fast. I've done it. I've had the coconut drinks. Okay, thank you. It was a nice drink. Can we get back to doing something? Can we get back to having an effect, to causing something? It's nice to have rests. Okay, but think about your purpose here. Okay, bigger purpose, right? I'm talking about, life, kids, family, other causes and good reasons for you to go ahead and make a pile of money, right? The best way to help the poor is to not be one of them, right? So whatever your purpose is, and hopefully you've got some ideas about that, you got goals that are on purpose goals, right? And then within those goals, you've got targets. Now, look, I've missed many targets, and I've also exceeded targets, right? We've shot high, we've shot low. Think of it like a physical target, right? Like you're an archer. Here's your bow and arrow. There's the target. Did you hit the target? Maybe. Did you miss? You missed some, you hit some. So we missed lots of targets, and we hit lots of targets, but we never abandoned the goal, because the goal is on purpose. And it's also on purpose for me to go ahead and get better and better at hitting targets, because that leads to me achieving goals. So when you think about why you're here and what you're doing and quantifying, am I on the right track, right? You could set targets for that, right? So I've got this many designs, products, listings. Here's quantifiable statistical things that we could put on a chart and say, look, there's the statistic. That's cool, right? And we could look at targets. But all of that is for what? Why do we do any of that? Why we do that? To reach these goals. And we got to be really certain and not vague about where we're going with these goals, and knowing that we reach every one we set. Despite however many targets we hit or miss, in the process, we reach every goal we set. I mean, if it's important enough, if it's relevant, if it's worthy of your time, because basically we're trading our life for this, for something, right? I heard someone say, oh, wow, that guy can play piano. Amazing. I'd give my life to be able to play piano like that. And the other guy said, yeah, well, he did. He did give his life to play piano like that. So we're trading it for something. Is it worthy of you? So think about the bigger picture here. I know I've given you a bit to consider over your weekend here on National Donut Day. Donut guys got to eat too, right? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, by the way. So we've got, who do we got on here? We got Tani, Marina, Jennifer, Gail, Danielle, Christina. Any thoughts on this or questions on anything? It's a small crew here today. Again, watch what happens as this ramps up, because this is going to be, we're going to get to the point where people have got to raise hands, and I got to have somebody controlling the microphones because there's noise and there's dogs barking. By the way, our policy on this call, and you'll see this come to fruition, I'm thinking in the pretty near future. If a dog barks while your microphone is unmuted, you must present the dog so that we can all enjoy the dog. We got a lot of dog lovers here. We want to see the dog. If he's barking, we want to see him or her. Any thoughts on this? Anybody wants to come on out? You don't need to raise your hands right now. You can just come on down. Just walk in like you own the place. Tani, you've got the floor, my friend. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh,
Number
good.
one.
Hold on a second, Tani. I'm sorry. Christina, make some noise, Christina. We got to get you unmuted here so we can see, because we don't see the camera unless it's the microphone's making noise. So let's get you unmuted. I see your dog. And Tani, I'm so sorry. This is so rude, but I see a dog.
No, I love the dog.
Okay, there you go.
I love the dog roll.
This is Rocky. I don't know.
Rocky? You look just like the dog in the picture, Rocky.
Yes, he's the new baby, the replacement of the boy in the picture who was 14 and we had to say goodbye to last summer.
Oh, wow. And what kind of dog is that?
He's mostly a Boston Terrier. He's got a little bit of Jack Russell mixed in him. And he's
So
7 months
sweet.
old. Yeah. He's
Welcome. Welcome to the crew, Rocky. And I saw your son running around there too. Hey.
This is Desmond.
Hey, Devin. Glad you're here, man. Welcome. All right. Get excited. Your mom's going on a journey of awesomeness.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you for
actually,
sharing.
I told him he's going to make the designs.
Very good. Very good. Get a
He's gonna
youthful,
help learn the business.
good. Get a youthful perspective on that. That's awesome. All right. Let's go back to Tani. Tani, by the way, I can't see you, but I can hear you. Tani, you've got the floor.
No, I was just going to say that in addition to loving the dog roll, that I'd never heard goals and targets explained in that way. And I really like that. And that making, that goals are like, they are definitely going to happen. And then you can set these other points, these other targets along the way that, like you said, either you might miss them and that's okay. You just keep going forward, and some you're going to make, some you're going to miss. I just never heard it explained in that way. And I really get that. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're so welcome, Tani. I'm glad. I'll keep showing up since you got benefit out of this. That's great.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So but think about that, right? If we've condemned ourselves or somehow belittled ourselves because we missed some targets and misinterpreted that as we can't achieve our goals, that's not the certain way, right? That's not really a statement or an assertion of self-belief. And so if I can do anything for you, it's you meaning all of you, including myself, okay, is to remind you of how powerful you actually are. And that no one goes through life without blundering and missing targets, right? So what does that mean? That means take it easy on yourself. My goodness. Again, like low self-esteem people don't show up here, right? This is like for very able people. So thank you for being able, and please remember that you are. I need reminders all the time. Tani, you were saying?
No, I was just going to say thank you. No, I too. I definitely, I do. I appreciate the reminders, because sometimes, as you like misstep, it's easy to be like, oh man, I suck at that. But like to get back on it and like, no, I am awesome, and I will keep moving forward, and I will do this.
Yeah. Maybe we should start every call with that song from the Lego movie. Everything is awesome,
Yeah.
right? Want to do that? Oh my goodness, it's so sticky. I'm sorry, you've all got that song in your brain now. I am so sorry. That, and what's that other one? Baby Shark. Oh no, John just said Baby Shark. So, all right, deal with it. Yeah, I see. I see the thumbs up there on Christina's son. All right. Anybody else today? Anybody else? Thoughts, questions, considerations about life? No, we're good. Okay, great. So your next move. Yes, go ahead. Marina.
Hi. Yeah, I was just I was thinking about when you're talking about certainty. The lack of doubt is pretty much gone, but you still have those like somewhat intrusive thoughts that when you do say, I'm gonna do this, you hear a little thing in your head say, well, what is the best way to shut that up?
Yeah. What is the best way to shut that up? if that's a direct question, I'll give you a direct answer, Marina.
Yes.
And that is to do the daily method of operation that I laid out for you in the welcome video.
Yes.
You recall the 4 things that I recommended?
4 things. Yeah. Not at the top of my head.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. I already
Read a
revealed that I
book.
do reminders all the time. Okay, very good. Who's got the 4 things that we start our day with if you're subscribing to my method? Jennifer?
Well, I didn't write notes on your welcome, but I do remember reading the book, getting up early, reading the book, having some quiet time. I don't know if working out was one of them.
Okay.
I need to go.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I do remember that part. I said on that.
Hey, Marina.
And then the
Who's that
4th
dog?
one, I
Hold on
can't
a second.
recall.
Who's that dog, Marina?
This one is Pua. I have Mister in the back. I have Parky on the floor. Rosie and also are downstairs.
Beautiful. Thank you for the
Hi,
dogs.
Pua.
Oh,
You'll
so
see the
sweet.
other ones later on.
Jennifer, you got 3 of them. Well done, Jennifer. Who's got the 4th one? Anybody?
Doing an income producing activity to keep the business moving
Bam!
forward.
That just happened. Well done, Jennifer and Tani. Well done. Okay, so we start our day. Could be a little bit earlier if you've had the tendency to drag your ass out of bed whenever, right? So let's just tighten it up a little bit, right? Half hour earlier, an hour, 5 minutes, something, right? In fact, Hal Elrod talks about this in his book, which is one of the ones I recommended, which is what's the title of that book again? Miracle Morning. That's it, Miracle Morning. So Marina, we start our day with some quiet time. Okay, who am I? Where am I going? Right? We write out our goals. We review our goals. We visualize that stuff. Okay, very good. Oh, that's who I am. All right, now I remember why I'm showing up. Okay, great. And then we do a little bit of study. Right? Read a few pages from some book. Right? And what does that do? That also boosts our appreciation of ourselves. One of the easiest ways to increase one's self-esteem is to learn something new every day. So great. There are people, they're called authors, who took the time to write down their best thinking. So we're going to go ahead and celebrate that. And in fact, sometimes I read my own book and I'm like, my goodness, how profound I was when I wrote this. I should probably do this stuff, right? So I need reminders all the time, right? So we're loading our guns, right? So we're seeing where we're going. We do some study, okay? So we got some ammo. Then we do some exercise, right? And what's the purpose of that? We get the body moving, something objective. We're not like just thinking. We already got some good ideas for the day, right? But now we're going to go, chop logs or something, something that doesn't require any thinking, but we're going to use our body, right? Gets the endorphins up. Now I feel good, right? Now I'm in motion. Oh, well, now that I'm already moving, well, what else can I accomplish? What can I take to a done right now? Done, right? Something that I've been avoiding, perhaps something that will make me money. Maybe not in the next 5 minutes, but still it's an income producing activity. I'm setting up the thing. I'm doing the thing, right? Great. That's a done. Now it's off my calendar. Look at how much integrity I have. Oh my goodness. So not only did I affirm to myself that, yeah, I'm an on-purpose person, I'm going somewhere. And I read some stuff. So I know a little bit more than I did yesterday. So now I can, flex those muscles a bit. And then I went ahead and I actually did physically flex the muscles. And since I'm already moving, let me get something done. And now I've got it off my calendar. One of the reasons we're here is for time freedom. And how do you get more time? You get stuff done. In fact, if we look at the entire anatomy of success, it's completing what you start. Completing what you start. That's called success, right? Therefore, the anatomy of failure would be not completing what you start or just never starting, right? Sitting there in a state of indecision. Marina, I hope that helps because you deserve to succeed here. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I see that smile. All right, looking forward to meeting more of your dogs. Anybody else who has a comment today? All right. Well, thank you, Christina, Danielle, Gail, Jennifer, Marina, and Tani. It is Ladies Club over here. We did get a few guys here in the room. So I'm glad to be here with you all. And again, if you're seeing this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss another thrilling episode of the Daily Success Call, or whatever we're calling this. And I will be back here with you on Monday. Okay, same bat time. Have an awesome